Tell our tens and tens of fans. Join us. You know why I was a couple minutes late and asked you to get started?
Why's that?
Just inside of this. Wait. Inside of, can you read that? What does it say?
There's so many things wrong with that cup.
Mr. Right. So what's inside that cup is the magic potion. I got me some coffee. I got me some. Oh hell! Hold on. Let's just do the opening. Here we go. We gotta get going. And 98765. Inside that cup is the magic potion. I got me some Baileys. It's got some amaretto and some coffee.
I think you got a little gin in that cup.
Gin and juice. Gin and juice, baby. Yeah. What? Oh God, that scares me. Which camera am I on? Which camera is showing?
Welcome into the second annual episode of Sportstake2, where we have your latest and greatest sports news. Sometimes we venture off into. Sometimes we venture off into the unknown.
Sometimes it's going to be effed up.
Yeah. So, what's going on in the sports world today that's been stuck in your craw? I saw a couple of posts on the site we have of a couple of things that were bothering you. But where do you think we should start?
I think we should start with hold on, let me get, why am I so big on there? Take you down. Go away. All right. I think we should start with the most important thing. Today, Tim Tebow hit a home run.
Oh, did you see him get beamed in the head?
No, wait a minute. Hold on. Let's back up for a minute. I didn't see him hit a home run. Made that up just because he's my man crush. So I was hoping he did. But now you're telling me that my man got hit in the noggin?
Right in the head with a fastball. And, you know, I'm not the biggest Tim Tebow fan, but as I saw him walking it off, that shiner he took to the head, the pitcher looked so nonchalant. You know, usually when someone gets hit by a pitch in baseball, the pitcher is quick to show, oh, sorry, you know, the ball just got away from you there. This time, the pitcher hits him in the head. You can hear the crowd just audibly moan, oh, and Tim Tebow's walking it off. The pitcher turns his back, starts walking back to the mound, like, you know, let's go. Let's get the next guy up here.
Wow. So you think he did that on purpose?
Hey, I'm not about hot takes, but he looked pretty apathetic to me.
Hold on. Sorry, I got to look that word up, apathetic.
Yeah, you know, sometimes my vocabulary is going to stun you there.
Dude, I'm just going to be real, okay? I got the lexicon pretty far up there. I really do. And the cornucopia information comes out of here.
Vast.
But almost every day, I have to look up the stupid word, like somebody on Facebook, and I'll go I'll right click, I'll scroll over, right click, and go search on Google. I'm like I took this test online yesterday. Somebody put on there, it's like, what kind of personality do you have? 200 questions. And I'm like, seriously, 200 questions? No, I'm going to do this. But I did it. I went through every freaking one of them just to find out that I didn't even remember what it said. You know, It's a joke. They're trying to get your email address probably.
Yeah.
And one of the very, very last question was, are you a pragmatist? Well, I don't use the word pragmatic very often. So what the hell does that mean before I go yes or no? And I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess I am. I don't know. Yeah, that's me. So what's
pragmatist?
All right. Well, I know what you want to talk about. I know what you want to talk about because you saw me mention we already done seen this movie before. Thank you, Marshawn. And then today, Michael Bennett did it.
Yeah. This issue isn't going away.
Okay, so let's first of all get something out of the way. White supremacists, Nazis, alt-right, they do not have a voice in this planet. They shouldn't even be all put on a little. They should be put on a little island by themselves and let Kim Jong-un go ahead and practice his missiles over there. Those people are, with the radical Muslims, are the worst of the worst. I would say 90% of the Muslims are good. There's 10% that are bad, but that leaves about 50 million bad ones. That's a hell of a lot. I would say that 95% of all the populist white people who include black, who support Donald Trump, are all good, decent people. But you got 5 to 10%. That must be 500,000 of them that are bad people. That's a lot. You've got the BLM movement, Black Lives Matter movement. I would say 95% are earnest, honest, upset, with righteousness in their heart, but you still got 5% that are bad. And what I believe is happening is there is a behind the scenes movement, MoveOn.org, and some of these people from being funded by George Soros. You can look him up. He's not a good guy, tied into Hillary Clinton and those people in the Bilderbergers, and they pay, not all, Black Lives Matter movement, fine, good people, but they pay some of them to be agitators. They pay some of the white people to go and be anarchists and be that anti-Antifa that put their masks on their head and go beat up, destroy Portland when Trump wins, or go destroy Berkeley. There are a paid segment of each of these that are bad, and they give the Black Lives Matter name a bad name. They give the Trump people a bad name. There's some bad people out there.
That's just that's one of the problems I have when it comes to right-wing people.
Yeah. Why? Because they think 90% of the people are good?
No, that's not it. The main problem I have with right-wing people, whenever something happens, let's say like what happened at Charlottesville yesterday, they have to go, well, remember when Black Lives Matter did this? Or remember? How come when a black man is shot, they always have to go, well, you know, he was arrested and he had marijuana on him, trying to disgrace. It's like they have to try to say, well, if you're going to say something bad about my people, I'm going to have to say something bad about you. Instead of taking the incident as it happens and dealing with it, unpacking that situation, Trump comes on and gives a speech and goes, there's been violence on both sides. What the hell are we talking about both sides for when one side just crashed a car through innocent people, killing some and injuring most others? And we want to talk about violence on both sides? That's the problem I have with right-wing people. I'll get no excuses for stuff.
I'm a conservative, and I agree with you. And a lot of the Republicans came out, and a lot of people on TV, I watched Fox today, of them said, whoa, he didn't specify in the way that we believe, in that incident has no place in this world. It was wrong and it needed to be called out, because he should have specifically said that day, Trump should have specifically said, you neo-Nazis, you white supremacists, you got no place at the table. You got no part of me. And he didn't. He said, you all. He said, y'all, you all, meaning you blacks, you whites, all of you who are problems, none of you got a place here. But what the incident called for was to speak to that moment.
Exactly. And he's not going to publicly denounce them when they were on the street saying, we're going to fight for what Trump promised us. We're taking back our country like Trump ensured we would. So he's not going to publicly denounce them.
The real populist movement, the real Tea Party movement, and all of that is unity for all of us, not separatist and Nazism and white supremacists. They got no seat at the table. They got no voice. And they need to go. And they need to be called out, and they need to be shut down. I said on my page, I swore, okay, so I go to church this morning and I'm thinking, ooh, man, I got to post something that says, here's an apology. Because yesterday I lost my cool. The very first thing out of my mouth was, hey, Trump supporters, I'm going to say we won, because I am, right? I said, we won. Act like it. Get a fucking job and get the hell home. Stop being out protesting everybody. Somebody wants to go protest, let them fucking protest. You don't need to be out there in their face causing a problem. If they got an issue, then let them have an issue. Whatever it is, let work it out. And then I said, hey, you white supremacists, you Nazis, all of you people. I said, you got no part at the table. I said, get a fucking job and go home. You know, stop with this bull. So I'm cussing, I'm swearing, I'm so angry. And I'm like, when is this going to freaking stop with everybody, the right and the left, going at each other? I don't know. I got upset. So I needed to apologize because the moment didn't call for that. And what it calls for, I'm going to be honest with you. You're going to laugh at me, especially with my language, especially with that on my desk. Just kidding. I made that up. That was a drawing. I think this country needs a dose of the Holy Spirit revival and healing amongst all of us. And the bad, they need to be absolutely shut down. I don't care who they are, white, black, whatever. And yesterday, I think that was a paid for people. I think a lot of those people. Okay, think of it, Fred. Where was that cat from? Where was that guy from in the car? Do you remember?
I don't know.
From Ohio. David Duke showed up. You know where he's from? Louisiana. Where was that event at? Virginia. Those are a bunch of freaking carpetbaggers coming into an event that was for Charlottesville, Virginia, because those people who lived there had an issue and wanted to march. What the hell are they doing? Got carpetbaggers all coming in from around the country to cause problems. Should say something right there.
I think anytime you mention the words Robert E. Lee, that riles up a bunch of Southern folk, and that's their hero. Even though I don't understand how anybody can think of that man as a hero.
I went to Grant High School, by the way. Ulysses S. Grant High School. Just saying.
All I'm saying is whenever you talk about removing, there's states and there's cities in the South where the Confederate flag still flies.
I know.
So you ask when there's going to be a time when all this stops? How about when cities no longer fly Confederate flags or protest the bringing down of a statue of a man who represented hatred, enslavement, dehumanization, lynching. How about when those qualities are no longer revered in a leader, then these type of things will stop. Until then, they're going to keep going.
But you do know the history that Lee and these guys were Democrats. I'm just saying.
Well, I don't take much stock into that because the Democratic Party today wasn't the Democratic Party back then.
You got to know more history.
Abe Lincoln was a Republican. The original founding Republican Party was for the people. And
so,
at the time, those parties have blurred lines and sort of crisscrossed, but the ideals are similar. Abe Lincoln was a liberal. He was a Republican. He was a Republican, but he was against conservative ideals such as enslavement.
No, conservatives are against enslavement. Conservatives are against enslavement. Democrats and Robert Byrd was KKK. Those cats were all they were all for that. But let me say this, because the Robert E. Lee statue and those flags, those things are important to this country.
Oh,
and let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. They should be put into a museum to show people and remind people what bad is, so we never go there again. If you just throw it all away and forget about it, you're going to repeat history. It's important.
Not true.
You don't think so?
That's not true.
You don't think it's important to say, you know what? Put that shit in a museum like a dinosaur and don't ever go back there again.
That's like saying I'm going on a diet and I want to keep some junk food left over to remind me of how I used to eat. And I just want to keep it as a reminder that anytime, I want to think about eating that bad food, just look at what that bad food did to me. No, you're going to throw out all the junk food. That's a ludicrous argument. That argument doesn't hold water. Something that was harmful and negative to a group of people, let's put that in a museum so that we can always go back and look at it instead of telling those people. And that's the other thing. A lot of people who have opinions on this are the people who weren't affected by it. How about we start letting those who are affected by these type of things, these I don't know, remnants of the past, let's ask them how they want to deal with it. Why is a lot of people who are not affected by it, i.e. white people, why do they get to decide, let's put this in a museum? How about we go to the people that are actually affected and go, African American community, what do these symbols represent to you? A lot of them will say hatred, belittlement, a sign of the past that should have never existed. And you know what we should do? We should gather them all out, put them in the middle of the South and burn them. But no, people who had no effect by this wants to go, well, let's put them in a museum. Let's put them to where people can always take a look at what this country used to be. No, memory is good enough. My grandma remembers growing up in Arkansas and being told not to address the white mailman by name and had to call him yes, sir. My grandma remembers that. That's not gonna. I don't need a flag to remember what the times used to be like. We're always gonna remember that.
So, click over to my Facebook page real quick. Don't get a big head on yourself now. Just click over there, glance at the comment I just made, and let's just move on. We don't need to say more about my comment.
Yeah.
Because discussion with an open mind causes positive action. I had one thought going into this. You had a thought that I hadn't considered. I'm open-minded. I'm thinking to myself, okay, so you know what came through my brain when you were talking? I'm thinking to myself, oh, I'm a Christian. What's a Christian mean? Well, what did Jesus say? Jesus said, take off the old, put on the new. You don't take off the old and hang it up in your closet in case you want to put it on again. No, you become a new man, become a new woman. You become a new creature. You are now born again. Therefore, you don't need to keep looking at that old stuff. Okay, so you got a good point. You hit me.
You know, it's starting to ring in my ear. I like the way you said that. Can you repeat that? Was that
Nope.
right? You were wrong, something like that.
I'm just going to say that Mr. Right knows when to listen so I can continue to stay right, because I heard a nugget from Freddie P, and I like that nugget.
You know, I like that nugget too. Can I get some sauce with that?
Oh my, this is going to be a good show. So what we're doing, so everybody knows,
People are going to confuse this show for a political show.
Because it's a crossover in life. That's just kind of what it is, because sports is life and politics is part of it. And that's the way the world's gone these days. I mean, you know, it used to be that with sports figures, there'd be whispering about, oh, so-and-so is out, you know, like Joe Namath. Joe Namath was out at Club 54. You know, we heard, and he had like six women on his arm. You know, it was all about the social deviance of things. And now it's crossing over into politics, which is life, you know, for a lot of people. So, yeah, no, it's good. As long as we agree that, number one, a choir requires you not to be singing to yourself, preaching to the choir, because then nobody hears it. And number two, it has different voices, a baritone, a bass, a tenor, because sometimes there are going to be disagreements. And sometimes there's going to be times when you go, no, I'm staying with my pitch. You're staying with your pitch. I get it, but I respect it. But because we respect it and we blend it together, it makes beautiful music.
That's true.
You know, if we all agreed on the same thing, it'd be a little bit boring.
Yeah.
You know, and we'd never learn anything because you already know everything.
That is true, my friend. As you drink from the Mr. Right cup.
Yeah. So anyways, talking about sports.
NFL is back.
All right. So I used to do the countdown to the season. How many days? 31 days left, blah, blah, blah. Can you tell us when the season starts?
I can tell you that, my good friend. Well, the preseason has started. This is week 1 of the preseason. So we have exactly 3 weeks and 4 days. That's when the Thursday night kickoff is. Where the champion Patriots will take on, let's see. The Patriots are going to take on the Chiefs Thursday, September 7th. That's going to be a nationally televised game on NBC.
Where's it at?
Oh, you know the champions always open up at home.
I meant to say, where's New England going to win at that night?
Yeah, they're going to win all right. That should be an easy win for them. We did get NFL trade that was pretty shocking at this point in the season. Sammy Watkins being traded from the Buffalo Bills to the LA Rams in a 3-team deal that sent receiver from Philly. What's that guy's name? Jordan Matthews.
Oh, okay.
Sent Jordan Matthews to the Bills.
Didn't Jordan Matthews play for Oregon?
Yeah, he did.
University of Oregon.
Yep. Now, I promised on our page I would talk winners and losers of this trade, so I just want to break it down with you for a second.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm looking on paper, out of the two receivers, Sammy Watkins is clearly better.
Right.
Jordan Matthews had a good year last year, put up 1,000 yards, a few touchdowns, and Sammy Watkins has never really lived up to his potential outside of Clemson due to injury, not due to performance. When he's on the field, he's a stud. But I think LA Rams came out the winner in this deal. Sammy Watkins paired with Jared Goff, who needs a deep field receiver. Sammy Watkins is going to emerge as the clear number one there with Tavon Austin working in the slot. That's going to do pretty good working Todd Gurley up the middle because they can no longer stack the box. You know, their only true weapon for the Rams was Todd Gurley. They had no real deep receiving threats. So what they would do is stack the box to ensure Todd Gurley had a terrible season last year, coming off of a rookie season where he played very well. So everyone was expecting big things from him. But, you know, when you don't have a receiving threat to keep the defense honest, they can stack the box and load up for your best running back. But now having Sammy Watkins there and moving Tavon Austin from the number one receiver spot to his true position, which should be a slot receiver, that's going to do wonders for their offense. Teams are going to have to play honest and not stack the box against Gurley. That's going to watch his numbers increase. It's going to be like a two-headed monster. You're not going to know who to stop. Sammy Watkins catching a deep ball or Todd Gurley running up the middle. So I like to pick up the Rams. Not to mention Jordan Matthews got injured in his first day of practice with the Bills.
Really?
That's not too good. Awaiting MRI on that, but you know, I think if Sammy Watkins stays healthy, and there was actually a quote from the Rams locker room from the cornerback saying that once healthy, Sammy Watkins is on the same level of Odell Beckham, and I don't necessarily believe that, but he's pretty damn good.
Yeah,
pretty damn good.
Who's LA got slinging the ball?
They got Jared Goff.
Oh, okay, that's right. That's what you said. Didn't he play for Cal?
Yeah, he did. Golden Bears. Now, last year, the team decided to wait to put him in, and he didn't come out and start until I think it was week 8 versus the Dolphins when the season was already lost. And he didn't play that great, but the whole team was awful. I mean, they ended up going 4-12. So, you know, that gives you an idea how good that team was. I mean, a quarterback is an important part to a team, but, you know, it's not much he can do with a 4-12 team. So he did go winless. He didn't win a game for them, but, you know, the season was lost. Morale was down.
I'm sorry. I'm not a Jeff Fisher fan.
Doesn't seem like the Rams are either after they fired him mid-season. They didn't even wait till the end of the season.
Oh, wait. Who's coaching them now? That's right.
They got a young guy. What's his name?
He's targeted. Yeah, that's right. No, I was just thinking. My brain was still stuck on how much I dislike Jeff Fisher.
Yeah, he got canned mid-season.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. All that crap that went on with Dickerson.
Yeah, that wasn't.
Dickerson and told him you're not welcome because you said something I didn't like on the radio. It's like, what?
The Rams coach is Sean McVay.
Right.
He was a coordinator out with the Redskins. And they actually opened the season with the Redskins within the first few weeks, I think. So that'll be a revenge game for them.
Is Fisher doing anything this year? I hope they.
No, he's going to sit this year out.
I hope they do not put him behind the microphone.
He's going to sit this year out, but he said he's got interest in coaching again. So,
yeah, he should go up to the CFL. Stay out of America. Stay out of America.
I don't have a problem with Jeff Fisher. I think that team underachieved, but you know, it's his job to kind of galvanize the troops and make sure they perform. And I don't think he did a great job of that. So I could see them letting him go. But usually, and that's the funny thing. There were extension talks in the middle of the year when the team was 3-1. They were talking about extending him. And instead, they didn't give him the extension, and then they fired him a couple weeks later. So NFL is a fickle business.
Let me see something here. You do your thing. It's all good. You're running.
All right. Another thing I wanted to get into that I've been busy to talk about. We haven't had time to talk about it. Is this Kyrie Irving trade that people are talking about, and I just want to have a quick rundown of events for the people. This all started back when, according to some reports, Kyrie had thought about asking for a trade after last year, after they had won the championship. But he ended up in the end deciding that, we should get a chance to defend our title. In 2016, the Cavs beat the Warriors for the title in 7 games. And the theory was, I'll defend the title, but, I'm not too happy here. And now the question has been, it's kind of old news for guys to want to be their own star. That's back in 2000.
Yeah, you don't do that anymore.
It's all about Shaq drama.
It's all about loading up lately.
Exactly.
I mean,
the NBA now has been moving towards super teams where you want the best players on the team as possible. Yeah. And so it's a little bit odd there. And then another thing that strikes me as odd, he says he wants to be the man on his own team, and then he puts out teams that he would be willing to play for, and none of the teams he'd be the man on. Well, a few.
You think that he just doesn't like LeBron?
I don't think that's what it is. He requested to be on the Spurs. He's not the guy there. Kawhi Leonard is.
Right.
He requested to be on the Wolves. Jimmy Butler, Karl-Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins. I don't see him being the clear number one, and he wants to be for the Knicks. Kristaps Porzingis, Carmelo right now, I don't see him being the number one guy. So it just strikes me as odd. And he says, no matter what the team does for success, LeBron gets the credit. Well, Kyrie, I remember when you had the reins for the Cavs organization when LeBron was in Miami, and I remember you guys having back-to-back lottery picks. That's how the Cavs drafted. They drafted what's the guy's name, Andrew Wiggins, and they drafted Anthony Bennett with the back-to-back number one overall picks. So your team had close to the worst record in the NBA. So you had your own team then. Well, it just strikes me as odd. Would you rather be awful and be the man on your team and score all the points, or would you rather compete and be the second fiddle?
Right.
And not saying that he's too much of a second fiddle, because Kyrie led the team in usage percentage. He held the ball more. He shot the ball more than LeBron did. He had the ball in his hands more than LeBron did. So it just strikes me as odd. But some people, I know he was on a China tour trying to expand his brand with Nike. Maybe he wants to.
So there's a philosophy. They say, team, together, everybody achieves more. TEAM.
Yep.
But I always told my kids when playing, they said there's no I in team, but there is an I in the word win. And am you willing to take the charge? Are you willing? Am I the one who's willing to make that pass? Am I the one who's willing to dive on the floor? Am I the one who's willing to take that shot? You all have to think as far as being able, what it takes to win as a team. If each one of you thinks, Am I the one willing to make that pass? Then you're all being unselfish, but you're all doing whatever it takes to win. And the other thing is, wouldn't it be amazing how much could be accomplished if it didn't matter who got the credit?
Yeah.
And, you know, I'll give credit. I didn't like it the way he did it, LeBron, during the decision and all that. I hated him. I'm like, I'm not going to watch that punk, you know? But giving credit where credit's due, yes, he was willing to be a part of something that he knew could be special. So he's like, I'm going to say it's not just me, it's us. So I got to give the guy credit, and I give credit to the kid who's supposed to have been a Portland Trailblazer. What's his frickin'? Why is my brain? I drank too much of the wacky stuff. I drank too much of the Jesus juice. Yeah. You know, he was with KC. Then he went to Golden State. Yeah. Thank you. He was supposed to be a Blazer. You know that, right?
No, I don't know that.
Oh, look it up. Blazers passed him up. Blazers passed him up. He should have been a Blazer.
You know why? Because of ineptitude. Don't try to put that on, you know, he shouldn't have been a Blazer. The Blazers should have done their research. You know, they have a scouting department. You know, don't try to put them off the hook. They've been forever.
Oh no, I'm not
Sam Bowie over Jordan. I'm the whole history.
No, I'm not giving the Blazers a pass. I'm roasting the Blazers for this one. He should have been a Blazer.
The Blazers have the worst scouting department ever.
You can go all the way back from when we had Trader Bob from Seattle.
You know why the Blazers passed on Jordan and took Sam Bowie?
Yeah, because of Clyde Drexler. Oh, we don't need two twos.
They said we don't need another wing player. We got Clyde.
Yeah, we don't need two twos. Are you freaking kidding me? Can you imagine? Okay, the Yankees said, you know what? We don't need to get A-Rod because we already have a shortstop. Are you fucking kidding me? Hey, Derek, would you be willing to move over? Well, yeah.
No, actually, Derek refused to move over, and so Alex had to play third base.
Oh, yes. Sorry, gotcha. Too much Jesus juice.
But still, there's a philosophy when it comes to GMs and drafting players, and there's a philosophy. You always draft team need unless the best player is available. Jordan was by far the best player, and that was a stacked draft. I mean, you had Pat Ewing, you had Hakeem Olajuwon, a lot of good players in that
Charles
draft.
Barkley.
But forget team need when the best player is staring at you in the face. Just dumb decisions. Same with Durant. Odin was a good rim protector and averaged like 12 points, 15 rebounds, and a couple blocks. But Kevin Durant was a scoring machine in college. Like,
could have picked up Odin in about the third or fourth round because nobody else would have been stupid enough to pick a guy that freaking breaks his leg every time he gets out of bed.
Can you imagine Brandon Roy, LaMarcus Aldridge, Kevin Durant?
That would have been sick.
And maybe Kevin Durant being on the Blazers, that takes a little bit more pressure off B. Roy, and his knees don't go bad so fast.
Thank you. Can you imagine that? Yes.
And I say I'm a Laker fan. I hate the Blazers. Brandon Roy was one of the best players I've ever seen play.
Money.
One of the best. Had a vicious step back. You know, can get to the rim at will. Had a great jumper.
He's coaching high school basketball now.
Yeah, I saw him coaching at the Les Schwab Invitational.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, I'm looking up facts because I don't remember them very well. So I'm just kidding.
I don't blame you. You need your facts when you're arguing
I'm
against
pulling the
me.
shit out of my head. That's coming right out of there and right out of there. I got it. It's just flying.
So, tell me who you think. This is a way too early prediction, but I want to know who you think will be competing in the Super Bowl this year.
Oh. Well, I could tell you who's not. Even with Zeke, it'd be Dallas would not. You almost got to go. I mean, the money always says you got to go. You got to go with New England, but Kansas City's got a decent shot this year.
Nah, I don't buy into KC. I do buy the New England Patriots. I have a feeling it's going to be a rematch of the AFC Championship with the Steelers and the Pats. And we just haven't made enough improvements with our corners to defend you guys. So I have a feeling the Pats are going to go. And you know what? I think the Seahawks are going to go. That's been a matchup I've been looking forward to seeing.
Not after today. No. Not after Bennett. Sit down. Forget it. I'm going to put a curse on them.
I like Bennett. I like Michael Bennett.
Not after he sat down.
Why not? What's wrong with sitting down?
Put a curse on them.
Do we have this debate again? What's wrong?
I'm going to say this. And I probably won't do it, okay? My mom promised me not to do this. I have just enough Jewish blood in me that if I chose to put a Jewish curse on that team, it's over. If I put a Jewish curse on that team and I wrote it down, you would see, I'd be able to hold it up on screen and go, I called it on this date, gone. I can do that. I have the power to do that. I
don't know. I think Russell Wilson has a little special juju over there. I've seen him come back from. I've seen Green Bay have them dead to rights a lot of times, and they find some crazy way to come back.
If I put a Jewish curse on them, Russell Wilson will not finish the season, and I do not want to do that to him.
And Michael Bennett can cause you to be this irate with the team.
Hello, do we have a caller?
Hey, Jim.
Oh, my God, we got a caller.
Oh, yeah?
Fred, this is Larry. Larry, this is Fred. You're on the air with Fred and Jim.
Hey,
Jim? Can you... Fred, can you hear Larry?
Yeah, I got him loud and clear.
Loud and clear. Larry, can you hear my... Hey, you're up. You're getting ready to go to bed. So Fred, when I said that I had my phone up and I told Fred, he's looking at me like, dude, what are you on the phone for? And I'm like, dude, I said, I'm looking up facts right now. How do you think I pull this shit out of my thin air right now? I know all this, but I was really texting you. And then Larry goes, I got to call you tomorrow, Jim. And I'm like, dude, I want you to come on, be on my show. So Larry,
what's the topic of discussion tonight?
Well, Fred just asked a question. It's very, very premature, but Fred's premature. I don't mean to be saying, but your girlfriend did mention that he said very premature, but it was just curious about maybe a Super Bowl pick.
Super Bowl?
Yeah, just to throwing that out there.
Well, I think it's the Titans year.
The Titans?
Oh, yeah.
Marcus Mariota and the Titans.
Yes.
You know, that's
the greatest quarterback in the NFL. Yes.
What about Tom Brady?
He's old news.
Old news.
He's old news. He's 40 now.
40 is the new 30.
All right. But he's had enough. He's not motivated anymore. It's Mariota's turn. They got a good offensive line. They've got good receivers now. They got the running game. Defense is fortified. They're ready to make their move.
I don't.
Going all the way.
I don't even know if you guys can beat the Colts.
The Colts. Who's the Colts quarterback?
Andrew Luck.
No, not right
He's
now.
injured.
They
Injured.
said they're optimistic he can be back for week 1.
Okay, so you're taking the Titans with Mariota. You're saying the Titans with Mariota can't beat the Colts, who don't have their starting quarterback yet.
Oh, actually, you know what? Something just totally slipped my mind. I know who the sure winner in that division is going to be.
No, I already told you it's going to be Titans.
No. It's going to be the Houston Texans.
I told you. It's going to be Titans.
The Houston Texans are the best team in that division.
Houston Texans.
They got a better defense. They got J.J. Watt. They got
Yeah, but Bum Phillips can't coach for nothing anymore.
I like the Texans to finish first in that division. You guys
I'm
might
going
grab
with
a
Larry.
wild card.
I'm going with Larry.
Who is their quarterback? I don't remember. Yeah, honestly, it was Osweiler.
They just drafted Deshaun Watson.
You think Deshaun Watson is going to lead that team to the division title?
I think he can. I saw him in his first preseason game, and he looked okay.
He did look good in preseason. I'll give you that. And I like Deshaun Watson.
He looked pretty good.
He is a rookie. But he's a rookie.
I've seen rookies fare pretty well in the league. You know, as of late, you know, this whole trial by fire has been working. And, you know, the Texans had one of the best defenses in the league last year. I don't know how you guys are going to I don't know if Mariota's got enough juice in those legs. You know, he's pretty fragile. I don't see him running around on J.J. Watt pretty hard or, you know, Clowney. I don't see him running around on those guys.
Yeah, they got good defense. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Hey, so
I'm still sticking with my Titans.
All right.
Larry works with me at a place that I'm not going to name on the air because I don't tell anybody where I work because I don't want to bring in my opinions into the workplace. It's not right. But Larry.
Go ahead and tell him we work for the Houston Texans.
Yeah. That's true. So Larry is from upstate New York.
Okay.
And he moved to the Beaverton area a few years back, and then he moved back to New York again. And then his wife pulled him back again. It's like every time I try to get out, and you keep pulling me back in. So he's been back for a while, and Larry is an avid sportsman. If you want to know cornucopia information, Larry's the man.
All right.
I'll be honest. I have no idea who's going to win the Super Bowl, but I'm rooting, obviously, for the Titans because I love Mariota. But
He's a big Oregon Ducks fan.
I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I'm enjoying watching them play, and I enjoy watching Mariota get better every game. So I'm looking forward to that.
Let me ask you this, Larry. Is it just a couple of Mariota fans I met, or I'm going to try to confirm it with you? Does liking Mariota mean that you have to hate Jameis Winston as well?
You know what? I don't hate Winston, but I will always, and I think this is true for anybody that followed either Mariota or Winston, they're always going to be linked together. They're always going to say, well, Mariota did well. I wonder how Winston did. Or Winston did well. I wonder how Mariota did.
Right.
I check Winston. I don't hate him, dislike him at all. I think he's really good. But I do want Mariota to do better than him.
Yeah, I understand that. It's just a couple of Mariota fans I've met have this strong dislike for Winston, and I go, well, I get that they were drafted 1 and 2 together, but you know, liking one doesn't mean you have to dislike the other. I'm a type of guy. I'm more of a Winston guy. Maybe that's because my alma mater is OSU, but I'm more of a Jameis Winston guy myself.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I have no knock on Jameis Winston. I just like Mariota better. That's all.
Yeah.
I thought your alma mater was HAU.
What's that?
Horses Ass University.
We need a put-boom.
Bada boom, bada boom, bada boom. I'll be here all night. No, I won't. Wow, Larry, thank you so much, man.
Thanks for calling in.
So, all right, guys, I'll check with you next time.
Yeah, so we're going to be on. So what we're doing, Larry, is we're doing little practice shows, like what we call a no-show show, every Sunday night, starting about 8 o'clock, and then right around the first week of September, we're going to have a big event show, and in 2 weeks, we're going to have a live broadcast on Facebook for the McGregor fight, and Mayweather fight. We do that from my house. We'll have a big barbecue.
Well,
Which you and your kids are welcome to come to. But I think that you said that I don't know, you like figure skating or something like that instead.
Well, that's why I will wake up the next day to see who won, and that's all I need. I'm not a big.
See,
I'm not. Well, it's not an MMA fight. It's a boxing match, but I'm more not into the MMA, and boxing is just not what it used to be, you know?
right. I'll give you that. And you know why?
It's not a draw for me.
It's the reason why boxing has fallen so far is because they opened up so many different divisions and companies and belts, and they watered it down, just like they watered down the NBA, they watered down the NFL. Water it down.
And then Mayweather doesn't really fight.
No, he's made a living off not getting hit.
I don't know. He's smart. I give him that, but his fights they're not worth watching. There's no fighting going on.
Right.
That might be true, but that's the thing. It's like a strong offense or a strong defense. No one ever said you couldn't win. It might not be the most exciting thing to watch, but it's also a beautiful game watching his defensive abilities. So while it's not the high-powered Mike Tyson knockouts,
I'm going to say that nobody rides a bike better than Mayweather. He gets on that bike during the ring, and he just rides it around the ring.
And no one's undefeated like him either.
All right.
Run now, guys, but I'll check in a couple weeks.
All right, Larry. Take care, buddy.
All right, thanks.
All right, Lee. You might have to call back, Fred. We'll see. Fred, are you still on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, so what I did was I let the caller hang up and you stayed on. Last time when I practiced that, I ended the call.
Right.
Oh, we just learned something.
All right.
Thank you to our caller at 912-3717.
Our first official caller.
I called my brother. I haven't talked to him in 3 months. And because I told him, I said, if all you want to do is talk about politics, just call me when you want to talk about something other than politics. Text me, whatever. I just can't do politics anymore. I'm sorry. And so I haven't heard from him in several months. But the truth is that he freaking knows sports. Well, at least he used to until he got his brain just run over and flush with politics. But dude used to know sports. Matter of fact, so he lives up in Seattle, big Seattle nut. Seattle Seahawks, all that. He thinks that down here in Portland, all we got is like tractor pulls, stuff like that. He goes, "What, you guys go out to the tractor pulls for your sporting events?" Because we got actual real sports up here. And so he predicted, I think this was 3 years ago, when Marshawn Lynch was still in Seattle. He told me, he said, "I'm telling you right now," he goes, "Marshawn Lynch will be in a Raiders uniform next year." But that was back when he thought that Marshawn Lynch was going to retire or do whatever and then go to Oakland and play his final year in front of his family and friends. Well, he did, but they moved, 4 hours north.
Yeah.
Up to Nevada. But he called
they
that
haven't
one.
Moved yet. They're actually going to play 2 seasons in Oakland before they move.
Oh. So again, I opened my mouth and showed what I don't know before I should have. That's why I got Right Said Fred to be Right Said Fred is the name of a band, you know.
I like the name of that band.
Yeah, Right Said Fred. All right, so let's call this a show. Let's call this a night. We'll button it up, and then we'll play it back, and hopefully it worked.
All right.
So for right now, people can always watch on Facebook, and they're watching the YouTube feed. So when we go to look at YouTube, it might show only a couple of views. There could be 200 views, but it's because people are on Facebook viewing, it doesn't click and register onto the YouTube unless they open it up. So either way, we're just practicing.
All right.
We start getting our real paychecks in September. Preseason. The hell's wrong with me? Did you see what I listed our show as? I listed our show as Sportstake2 Sunday, August 13th. Just a little no-show show. No, this is preseason.
Yeah,
I'll get it right next time. I'll get it right next time. We're in preseason right now. All right. I'll see you, buddy.
All right.
I'll talk to you tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
And
because I got to be in there. I got to go to your work tomorrow. I got to be in there tomorrow and take a look at some of those plates and stuff.
Okay. And I'm officially back at the college all week. So.
Okay. I'll be there tomorrow.
All right. See you then.
All right. See you, bud. Bye.